So there's a man that I know, used to know, before he killed himself last year. He broke his own neck. You can look his name up. It's Stephen McMillian. We called him Mobley. He was from Missouri, and his family was very conservative Christian. So I got x-rays from Mobley with a K-bar sticking out of his back from when Monroe stabbed him underneath the Boulder Public Library. I got that actually on my Facebook. Pretty cool picture. He's dead now, by the way. Not from that. Like I said, broke his neck last year. Mobley tells me that a woman that we know was killed by John Fox. It's like John Fox fucking murdered her, dude. He fucking beat her to death, and fucking when I find him, I'm gonna take him up the mountain with a bottle. So, lo and behold, I found out what happened. John Fox, I don't see him doing that. I see him getting very angry. He's been very angry in front of me, but he hurts stuff and not people. Anyway, Mobley was looking for him. All the enforcers down there were looking for him. They were gonna pretend to be his friend, invite him up to camp, tell him how sorry they are, and they heard what happened, and fucking no man should have to go through that. And they're gonna take care of him, and they're gonna make sure that she doesn't go spreading those stories anymore. It's a routine. They all know the routine. John Fox knows the routine. John Fox has been a part of that routine on more than one occasion. You get about 5 to 10 people to all convince this person to go up the mountain. Whatever their drug of choice is, it's magically up there in Netherland. Magically, any drug that this person could possibly want. If they're into mushrooms, then you pretend that there's mushrooms in the mountains, and you're going to get them, and you're gonna spend the whole weekend enjoying yourselves and eating steaks. They're invited. You're going to make sure that they have the time of their life. You're glad they're out of jail, and you're going to celebrate. That's not a celebration. If you're dumb enough to fall for that, which John Fox did not, thank goodness. He'd be dead today for killing a woman that he did not kill. And I, John David Schwartz, and the guy who had to look the information up, find a place to try to print the information out, which I was not able to do. But I was able to get somebody to, I can't remember what I did. I was able to let people know through Facebook Messenger. I remember that, and I remember that I needed help doing it. But I was able to explain that John Fox could not have possibly killed anyone because he was in jail. He'd been in jail for over 30 days by the time that his ex-girlfriend fucking died. She was beaten to death over a different situation. She was beaten to death by somebody else, and she'd been drinking, so of course it was not taken as seriously as it should have been. They didn't print a proper story on it or let the public know that they were aware that she had been beaten about the head and neck and the sternum. We had to find all this out through the grapevine and from different police contacts. In some places, we've got 1 or 2 cops who do work together with the homeless. I know for a fact that despite the bullshit that Officer Steinman pulls, I know that he's got at least 3 informants out there, including like Kelly Henson. He flirts with her real heavy, and she'll tell him what he wants to hear, and then he'll go and do whatever he wants do to whoever he wants to over a drunk woman who he basically just tries to have sex with every time he talks to her. Oh my God, she eats that up. She's in love with it. He never had sex with her though. And then of course Steinman, he'll be buddy with anybody who hates Monkey. That's his real name is Michael Pennington. It's a big, long, drawn-out story, isn't it? Well, there's a lot of details and a lot of people involved. A lot of people who knew what was going on, and a lot of people who are lucky that I opened my goddamn mouth. People say snitches get stitches. Well, John Fox, you're welcome for you not being fucking dead, because I didn't give a shit if I got stitches. I wasn't going to let you get killed for something you didn't fucking do. It was not going to happen. You know goddamn well how street justice works, John Fox. You've taken part in it. You have taken part in street justice yourself. From ostracization to getting somebody up the mountain with a bottle. You may not have been the one to kill them yourself, but you helped to get them up the mountain, and they didn't come back down, ever. Now, of course, whenever Mobley took somebody up the mountain, when he came back down, his story every time is that I gave him some bus money and told him to stick his thumb out and to go the other way and never come back here. He's never coming back. So not only did they never come back, they never answered their phone ever again. They never checked their emails ever again. They never checked their Facebook ever again. They never checked anything ever again after Stephen McMillian went up the mountain with them. John Fox is alive because I opened my big fucking mouth and told the truth. He's alive because instead of saying it's not my problem, you need to just man up and take care of it yourself, I looked into the situation and I spoke the truth. And it was the easiest thing in the world. It was the easiest thing I could ever do. It was so much easier than earning gas money to drive all the way across the United States to rescue somebody in person. All I had to do the right thing was to open my fucking mouth. That was all it took. And with all these people since Natalie's death, that's the help that I needed from them. For them to open their fucking mouth. John Fox, open your fucking mouth. Christopher Weaver, open your fucking mouth. All I asked out of these people was honesty, with the exception of my little sister. I absolutely asked my little sister to lie. She did not respond to it, so I'm assuming she's not going to do it. But is afraid for her daughter, as she was claiming to be, when I left there for her safety. To make sure that nobody in that town became a target of opportunity and try to blame it on me. Make sure that a situation like what with Natalie Bollinger, where I was being victimized over something I didn't do, and people were threatening to kill my friends and family over things that I didn't do. Things that Natalie Bollinger never fucking accused me of. Alicia Bollinger never accused me of. Ever. Yeah, they definitely accused people of doing that stuff. They definitely accused both Tim Beeson and Ted Bollinger, and also Troy Bollinger, of doing all of the above. The drugs, the sex, the rapes, the underage bullshit, the incest. I did the right thing by telling on these predators, especially with them threatening to kill my friends and family. with the people that Natalie Bollinger told me did all of these horrible things, getting a hold of me and threatening to kill me and my family, knowing what I know, already hearing and speaking to Miss Shelley. That's Rochelle Shelley Campbell. She was on the phone when Natalie and Alicia Bollinger insisted that we go to this Chinese place and go to the pagoda just before Hurricane Matthew. That was Natalie and Alicia's idea, and we went, and I took a picture there, and people pretended that I was stalking them, that I was just some creeper who saw them on the internet and decided to follow them all the way across the country and take pictures of them in random places, some stranger that they don't actually know and has actually been following them for years and all sorts of creepy shit like that. Like, no. They pursued the friendship, and when they first tried to pursue the friendship, they were underage, and I shot them down. I don't mean with a gun. I mean I was not okay with being friends with children in Boulder, Colorado. In Chapel, Nebraska, I was friends with kids. I was friends with Miss Jerry, and by default, I was friends with her kids. So John Fox stopped being friends with me because I asked him to look. I asked him to look into my situation like I'd looked into his. I asked him to try to understand the situation as I did with him. Yes, John Fox is absolutely 100% certain, sure, and well aware, and informed by Mowgli that the only reason that he is still breathing is because I am a fucking badass. I went to bat for that motherfucker, but you know what I did before I went to bat for him? I made sure I knew my shit. I made sure that I did what needed to be done. Look up the information, find out if I am correct or not, and turn that shit in. John Fox didn't have to come to me for help. Just like Christopher Weaver when he was falsely accused of shit. He didn't have to come to me and ask me for help. I was already telling the truth. I had already rescued their asses, saved their lives, and fucking prevented their hides from being destroyed permanently. You're welcome, gentlemen. Thank you for your cowardice. You guys should have known when that shit happened to me that I was going to speak up, that I was going to fight as hard for my rights and my life as I fought for yours. I was going to fight as hard for myself as I fought for Mandy Singer. I was going to fight as hard for myself as I fought for Christopher Weaver. I was going to fight as hard for myself as I fought for Stephen McMillian, for John Fox, for Christopher Tapp. How hard I had fought when I knew better. When I was there and present for the situation, and I could say 100% with certainty that it was not a belief, it was knowledge firsthand. I was there, I watched it, I heard it, I was there for every part of it. Not fucking okay. Some of these situations, I had to relay the information that I got from witnesses that were present. Did you know that Christopher Tapp spent 6 years in prison for a crime he didn't commit? His wife did. I'll probably have to tell that story next. By the way, I'm not friends with any of these people, even the dead ones. That doesn't mean that I don't love them, and that doesn't mean that I'm going to hide the truth. Good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper, and no victim left behind.